Napoleon Hill's 15-minute method to end delay. Napoleon Hill, powerful self-motivation. If you've ever found yourself trapped in the endless cycle of, "I'll start tomorrow," then you're about to discover the simple yet revolutionary method that has freed thousands from the prison of procrastination. The brutal truth is that most people aren't failing because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunities. They're failing because they've become masters of delay, experts at finding reasons to postpone their dreams until someday. Here's the game-changing insight that Napoleon Hill uncovered. The difference between dreamers and achievers isn't their ability to work for hours on end. It's their willingness to commit to just 15 minutes of focused action. This sounds almost too simple to be true, but that's exactly why it works so powerfully. While your mind can create 1,000 excuses for why you can't dedicate your entire day to a project, it can't reasonably object to just 15 minutes. What you're about to learn isn't just another time management technique. It's a complete transformation of how you approach every goal, every challenge, and every opportunity in your life. Get ready to discover why 15 minutes of disciplined action is infinitely more valuable than 15 hours of wishful thinking. Procrastination isn't just about being lazy. It's a sophisticated enemy that disguises itself as perfectionism, fear, and endless preparation. Napoleon Hill discovered something remarkable about human psychology. The hardest part of any task isn't the work itself, but the decision to begin. When you commit to just 15 minutes of focused action, you're essentially tricking your brain into overcoming its natural resistance to starting. It's like trying to push a heavy boulder. The most energy is required at the beginning, but once it starts rolling, momentum takes over. This 15-minute method works because it makes the task feel manageable, removing the overwhelming feeling that keeps you frozen in place. Think about how many dreams have died, not from lack of ability, but from the simple act of delay. Every successful person you admire had to face the same internal resistance, the same voice whispering, "Maybe tomorrow," or "I need to prepare more first." The beautiful truth is that your brain doesn't distinguish between a 15-minute commitment and a 15-hour marathon when it comes to building momentum. When you honor that small promise to yourself, something magical happens. Your confidence grows, your self-motivation increases, and suddenly, the task that seemed impossible yesterday becomes today's accomplishment. It's like lighting a match in a dark room. That small flame provides enough light to see the next step and the next, until you're walking confidently toward your goals. Here's what most people don't realize about delay tactics and procrastination. They're not character flaws. They're learned behaviors that can be unlearned with the right approach. The 15-minute method works because it bypasses the part of your brain that creates elaborate stories about why you can't start right now. Instead of negotiating with your resistance, you simply set a timer and begin, knowing that you only have to maintain focus for 15 short minutes. It's similar to how a runner doesn't think about completing a marathon, but focuses on the next mile, then the next. This approach has transformed countless lives, turning chronic procrastinators into highly productive individuals. But there's an even deeper psychological principle at work here that most people never discover. Every person has unique delay tactics that feel perfectly reasonable in the moment, but look ridiculous in hindsight. Napoleon Hill understood that successful people aren't immune to these patterns. They're just more skilled at recognizing and interrupting them before they take control. Some people delay because they fear imperfection, others because they're overwhelmed by the scope of their goals, and still others because they've convinced themselves they work better under pressure. The first step to overcoming procrastination is becoming a detective of your own behavior, noticing when and why you choose delay over action. It's like studying your own fingerprints. These patterns are unique to you, and once you see them clearly, you can't unsee them. Consider this. Your procrastination patterns often reveal your deepest fears and limiting beliefs about yourself and your capabilities. When you consistently delay starting that business, writing that book, or making that important phone call, you're usually not avoiding the task itself. You're avoiding the possibility of failure, rejection, or discovering that you're not as capable as you hoped. The 15-minute method works brilliantly here because it removes the pressure of immediate success and replaces it with the simple goal of showing up. It's like dipping your toe in cold water instead of jumping into the deep end. Once you realize the water isn't as shocking as you imagined, going deeper becomes natural. Stop tracking your delay patterns for 1 week. Notice what you postpone, when you postpone it, and what stories you tell yourself to justify the delay. The most successful individuals have learned to treat their resistance as valuable information rather than an insurmountable obstacle. When you feel that familiar urge to do it later, that's actually your subconscious mind trying to protect you from perceived danger. But in our modern world, that danger is rarely real. The 15-minute commitment creates a safe space where you can face your fears in small, manageable doses, gradually building evidence that you're more capable than your protective instincts want you to believe. It's like gradually building immunity to something that once made you sick. With repeated exposure in small doses, you develop strength and confidence. What you'll discover is that most of your resistance disappears once you actually begin, revealing that the anticipation of difficulty is often worse than the difficulty itself. The concept of micro-commitments revolutionizes how we approach goal achievement by breaking down seemingly impossible tasks into bite-sized actions that your brain can't refuse. Napoleon Hill observed that successful people understand the compound effect of small, consistent actions better than anyone else. When you commit to just 15 minutes, you're not just working on a task, you're training your brain to associate starting with success rather than struggle. It's like teaching a child to ride a bike by starting with training wheels. You're creating positive associations that make future attempts easier and more natural. This approach works because it honors both your ambition and your human need for psychological safety. Think about the mathematics of momentum. If you spend 15 focused minutes daily on any important area of your life, that equals 91 hours per year, more than 2 full work weeks of dedicated effort towards your dreams. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions because they're addicted to the fantasy of dramatic transformation through sporadic bursts of intense effort. But personal development doesn't work that way, and neither does success. It's like building a house. You don't put up the entire structure in one day, but you can certainly lay one brick and then another and another. The 15-minute method ensures that you're always laying bricks, even on days when you don't feel motivated or inspired. What makes micro-commitments so powerful is that they create what psychologists call completion bias. Once you start something, your brain naturally wants to finish it. This means that your 15-minute commitment often extends naturally into longer periods of productive work, but without the initial resistance that would have prevented you from starting at all. It's similar to how Netflix uses the next episode feature. Once you're engaged, continuing feels easier than stopping. The beauty is that even if you only do the minimum 15 minutes, you've still kept your promise to yourself and maintained your momentum. Try this approach with any area where you've been struggling with procrastination, and watch how quickly your relationship with that task transforms from avoidance to anticipation. The difference between people who occasionally use the 15-minute method and those who transform their entire lives with it lies in creating a systematic approach that becomes as automatic as brushing your teeth. Napoleon Hill emphasized the importance of developing success rituals that bypass conscious decision-making and tap directly into the power of habit. Your 15-minute ritual should include 3 elements: preparation, clearing your space and eliminating distractions; activation, a specific phrase or action that signals the start; and focus, complete concentration on one task for the entire duration. It's like creating a launching pad for your productivity, where everything is designed to make starting inevitable and staying focused natural. Start by choosing your most important task and scheduling your 15-minute session at the same time each day, preferably when your energy is highest. This could be first thing in the morning, before the world makes demands on your attention, or during lunch when others are taking breaks. The key is consistency. Your brain thrives on patterns, and when you establish a reliable routine, you eliminate the daily negotiation about whether and when to start. It's similar to how athletes have pre-game rituals that put them in the optimal mindset for performance. Your 15-minute ritual serves the same function for your most important work. Create a specific physical space for this work if possible. Remove all distractions, especially your phone, and have everything you need within arm's reach before you begin. The power of this ritual extends far beyond the 15 minutes themselves. It's training your brain to respond to your commands rather than your feelings. When you consistently honor this small commitment regardless of how you feel, you're developing what Napoleon Hill called mental discipline and proving to yourself that you're someone who follows through on promises. It's like building a muscle. Each successful 15-minute session makes the next one easier and strengthens your identity as a person of action. Consider this. What would your life look like 1 year from now if you dedicated just 15 focused minutes daily to your most important goal? The compound effect of this simple practice has the power to completely transform your trajectory. What specific area of your life needs this kind of focused attention starting today? The ultimate goal of the 15-minute method isn't to limit yourself to short bursts of activity forever, but to use these micro-commitments as a launching pad for sustained, focused effort toward your most important goals. Napoleon Hill discovered that once people overcome their initial resistance and build momentum, they naturally want to continue working beyond their minimum commitment. It's like starting a fire. You begin with small kindling to get the flame going, but once it's burning strongly, you can add larger logs to create a powerful blaze. The 15-minute method provides the kindling for your motivation, creating the spark that can eventually fuel hours of productive, fulfilling work. As you master the art of consistent 15-minute sessions, you'll notice something remarkable happening to your self-motivation and overall approach to challenges. Tasks that once seemed overwhelming begin to feel manageable because you've trained your brain to break everything down into smaller, actionable pieces. It's like learning to eat an elephant one bite at a time. Suddenly, massive projects become series of 15-minute sessions, each one bringing you closer to completion. Your confidence grows with each kept promise to yourself, and you begin to see yourself as someone who takes action rather than someone who talks about taking action. This identity shift is perhaps the most valuable aspect of the entire process, as it influences every area of your life. The real magic happens when you realize that the 15-minute method has taught you something profound about the nature of success, mindset, and achievement itself. Progress doesn't require perfection, it requires presence. You don't need ideal conditions, unlimited time, or complete clarity about every step. You just need to show up consistently with focused attention for 15 minutes at a time. It's like compound interest in the bank. Small, regular deposits create wealth over time through the power of consistency and patience. Many successful entrepreneurs, writers, artists, and leaders have used variations of this approach to build their empires one small session at a time. The question isn't whether this method works, The question is whether you're ready to commit to the simple discipline that will unlock your potential and end your relationship with delay tactics forever. Everything we've explored today comes down to one life-changing realization. The power to transform your entire existence lies within your willingness to commit to just 15 minutes of focused action daily. The 15-minute method isn't about limiting yourself. It's about liberating yourself from the paralysis of procrastination and the endless cycle of delay that has kept your dreams locked away. Every moment you spend honoring these small commitments to yourself is a moment invested in building the kind of mental discipline and self-motivation that separates those who achieve their goals from those who merely talk about them. This channel exists to provide you with practical, proven strategies for developing unstoppable momentum in every area of your life. But here's my challenge for you. Don't let this be just another video that inspires you temporarily and then gets forgotten. I want you to comment below right now and tell me exactly what you're going to dedicate your first 15-minute session to tomorrow morning. Be specific, name the task, the time, and your commitment to showing up regardless of how you feel. If you're serious about ending delay tactics forever and building the kind of consistent action that creates extraordinary results, then smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell immediately. Your future self is counting on the small decisions you make today, and I'll be here every step of the way with the tools and insights you need to transform your potential into reality. Remember, you don't need 15 hours to change your life. You just need 15 minutes and the courage to begin.